Okay.
She has been called a life coach, a business guru, and energy photographer with the ability to unveil the soul and the superpower to be seen. Straight from her Batmobile, we present Lorikay.
Nice.
Yay! And then like setting the bar high. Does this have to be open in order to move?
Yeah, you might need to do an alt tab. There you go.
Ha! So what's in your head is in your headshot. That means that whatever you're thinking about shows up. We've had a multitude of gurus in our lifetime tell us the same exact thing in a million different ways. What you focus on, you get more of. The physical awareness of if you're on your bike and you go this way, you go this way. If you look this way, you go this way. So what we know is that's true in a multitude of ways, that whatever we're thinking about shows up. So when you take a picture, what you're thinking about shows up. And if it shows up, let's be intentional about it. This is my client, Susan. Susan is a high-end connector. She connects C-level and above owners of big, large companies and connects them together. She's been doing it for a long time, and it's really important to her to be seen as an expert, to be seen as elegant, and yet approachable. Susan is also, in this business, not only do you have to be quick on your toes, be really aware of your surroundings, you also need to be very much pretty if you're a girl. It's just part of the game still, unfortunately. So she has been avoiding having her picture taken for about 20 years because for some reason she doesn't think she's pretty. So she's avoided it and had a difficult time with it. But it's her business. It is now necessary to have a headshot. It's the new first impression. Therefore, when she came to me, I was recommended to her so that she could feel comfortable. We worked with her for quite a while. This is about 10 minutes into the session. And she's clear about what she wants people to know, but she's still in her head about what she looks like. By the time we were done, she stepped into this. And I want to show you, put them side by side so you can see the difference. This one's connecting with you. Do you see how she's just kind of turned off here? Because she's in her head. Have you ever done that when you're looking at something and you start to stare off because you're not paying attention to what you're looking at, you're paying attention to what's in your head? That's exactly what's happening here. And it can be seen. It can be, more importantly, it can be felt. When somebody looks at your picture, they decide in a quick minute, okay, second, half a second, about whether or not they want to do business with you, whether they like you. People do business with people who like them and people they like. So if that's the case, I want to tell you a little story. 10 years old, 5'8". Picture me gangly. The only way I've grown since then is out. Some of it's to my benefit. But I was gangly and uncomfortable. Who wasn't at 10? Who wasn't at 12? In school, my nickname was Big Bird, Skyscraper, Lurch. Nobody knew my real name. As a matter of fact, when I ran for student council president, they had to put Lurch on the ballot. Nobody actually knew my name. I didn't mind. I got all the attention. But I did want to connect with people. And being the class clown, you're sort of avoiding connecting with people. You feel so uncomfortable with who you are, you don't know what your strengths are. So you avoid by being the class clown or being the introvert in the corner? Well, I had a group of friends, and we're all talking. One of the girls is going through some stuff, and we're all just being there for her, and I'm asking a lot of questions. And at one point, Nikki Copley says to me, "You're so nosy." We all had one of those, right? Well, it was so important to me that people didn't feel excluded from things. I didn't want to hurt anybody because we all know how uncomfortable we felt. We didn't want to make anybody else feel. We didn't want to be the bad guy. I was horrified that I thought that I made this person feel worse by asking questions. I didn't ask another question for 40 years. Okay, 30. 20. I realized one day that I had a difficult time asking people questions. It got really clear. And that what I would do in a conversation is I would tell people my story. They would tell me their story, and instead of asking questions, I would tell them my story. And I started to come off as very self-absorbed. And I would do that, there was a way to connect. Whoops. Back to my story. That was how I was trying to connect with you. Oh, I can relate to what you're saying. Here's my story, I can relate. Well, that's annoying. We all know that's annoying. But it took me 40, 30, 20 years to realize that. And then when I got married, my husband was really good at asking questions. He was the most present person I know. And he would be on these one-on-one conversations at a party, and I was the one over there, entertaining everyone because I was the class clown. But when I realized how much he connected with people, and that he could ask any question, and people were happy to talk about themselves and tell them, I said, oh, well, I want to know these things too. After the party, we compare notes, because I really want to know too. And I realized, why am I not asking questions? Because I'm nosy. Well, it turns out, I'm really just curious. I'm empathetic. I'm loving. Those are my 3 words. These are my power words. These are the words that I chose to stand on and not under. Because I could have let being nosy cripple me for the rest of my life and never put myself out to get to know people. You don't think that asking questions is vulnerable, but it is. Answering questions is vulnerable. So when I work with my clients as a photographer, I help them find their power words. These are some of the questions I ask. What words describe you when you're really on and in the zone? You know those words that when you are, that time in your life, and those times when you own it and you feel it, you're high as a kite because you got it going on. I want you guys to be thinking about that. What words do your favorite clients use to describe you? If you were to ask your clients, hey, what do you like about me? What do they say? What part of your personality ignites your brand? Is a big one. Because when we're doing the work and we're working on our businesses, we know what our brand is. But do you know where it comes from? Why is that an important thing about your brand? What part of your personality is showing up? For me, my brand is being open and empowering you because it comes from this part of me that's curious. And this part of me that wants to love you and bring you up. Whoops. What word do you most love about your personality? I apologize for reading these. What do you want people to love about you? If there's something about you that you love and you own, what is it about you that you want the world to know, I am this? As we narrow through these in our conversation, we come up with our power words. So this is Janet. What do you think her power words are? Feel free to give me some feedback. It's got a lot of energy.
Energy, positive.
Vitality.
Happy.
Ready,
Open.
ready.
Ready. Ready to go. Yes. That's fantastic. So she's 72 years old. And she is in the movie, film, she's a playwright, actress. And I don't know if you know anything about that business, but they are very not kind to your age. It's important to them that you look young. And so she wanted to let them know that she has got tons of vitality, that who she is matters, and she can keep up with you anyway. So those were her words, important, very important. And I think that she pulls that off in that energy. Now, some of us may know this gentleman, but what do you think his 3 words would be?
Approachable. Sincere.
Power.
Just right down there with you.
Power.
Power.
Yes.
I love that. I'm glad that you see power in that. That was really one of his words were, he wants to coach and be there to empower kids. He wanted to be approachable and fun. So what he does is he speaks to young people about moving forward in their life. He's a coach to them, which is why we have him in this body language of coach. But we kept him in a suit so that people would know he's a powerful man. And he can help you come up this way. There's a lot of things that I do as a photographer to make sure that that energy is coming through. Including the background here, you can see it's a journey. He's a part to the journey. And if you guys know this guy, he is a bit of an angel, and you can see the halo over his head there. Right? So I think we really, really captured John here and who he is. What do you get out of this young woman?
Fun-loving.
Yeah. Very fun. Very energetic.
But confident.
What was that?
But confident.
Yeah. Very good. There's a nurturing quality to her too. So let me tell you what she does. First of all, let me tell you she has 5 children and she's still smiling. Amazing. But she also coaches people with addictions, kids with
She
addictions.
has 7 kids, actually.
Does she really? So she helps them with addictions. Did you refer her to me? Thank you very much.
Yep.
So again, we have that background showing the journey. Does it capture her, knowing her?
Oh my gosh, it's one of the best pictures of her I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad. So we have a lot of feedback that it really does capture that little kid. But what we wanted people to know, with the image and energy she wanted people to know, is that she's here for the long haul. She's here for the journey, and it doesn't have to be a somber one. Just because it's addiction doesn't mean it has to be sad and dramatic. It can be powerful from the place you stand. So it's really important for us all to really own our words, not only during your photo shoot, but every day. I highly recommend that you put your words draw them out and put them on a card and put them around like an affirmation. Make them pretty so you see them every day. And remember, those are the things that make you unique, that make you amazing. Because what you think about is what shows up, not only in your headshot, but in the world. Thank you.
Nice. So that was actually 14 and a half minutes. I didn't stop you, but
Thank you.
I figured we got time.
I looked a bit.
Yep.
All right.
All right, I'll start then since I was jumping in. Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I haven't seen you speak in probably 6 months. I think maybe I wasn't here the last time you spoke at Speaker Lab, but
I've been avoiding it.
It's really good, Lorikay. You have a great message. Your presence is incredible. You had a great start. I love the fact that you actually kind of centered yourself in the beginning. You didn't allow the pressure, the fact that your introducer had just walked up the stage and there was a little bit of stuff going on in the room. You just went, that was really important. And an audience can feel that too, I think. Your stance is very Wonder Woman. You got the power stance going. It's fabulous. You're quite funny. I actually love the whole the lurch story and the things that you brought in that were personal, and I haven't heard those elements as much from you before. I felt like you were getting a little fast in the story. And there were a couple of words that you kind of like ran over a little. So I don't want you to slow down. It's not that you need to slow down a whole lot, but maybe just a touch to get that, make sure that doesn't derail you.
Okay.
Your filler word is really. Yeah, we really
you
need to really do this, right? So just watch that.
Thank you.
And you just have somebody, if there's somebody in the audience that you know, have them tick you. Like just say, okay, catch my filler words and tell me when I'm doing it. And then maybe they can help you kind of get a sense of how to replace some of those words. They're just, it's an adjective. It's just a filler.
Thank you.
I felt like it was so good, so it's hard to like give you too much that's to work on, but I felt like I needed more of a setup on the power words before you got into your story. That might help you just kind of bookend the presentation a little bit. And I felt like your questions stole the energy. I mean, it just went right there. Yeah. So whatever that is, maybe it's if you were trying to run through it and normally you take a little bit more time with it, that's fine. But
I think I'm just going to take the slides out and just say them because
I think that's perfect. I don't think it didn't help because then I was trying to read the words and yeah. So
okay, thank you for that.
I would ask, just to follow up on that comment, if you want to keep that slide, just bullet point one word at a time. Personality. What do people say about your personality? Then add with it.
I like
just
that.
have the key up there so we can see it. Think about it, but we're not going to be trying to read the question. And along with the slides, you have a couple typos. Your title slide says what's in your headshot is in your headshot, and what you want what's in your head is in your headshot. I know that, but you were going fast. And there's another place where there's a single quote, then a double quote, and just QA those, or I'll QA them for you.
Thank you.
I'm not the English person, but I am detail oriented. So I love the color in your outfit. I don't know that I've really seen you in other than black.
Yeah, and I say I only wear black.
Okay, because you're taking pictures, I understand. But I really like the colorful scarf and just a little style. I think that's a great, think about that for when you do your presentation. I know you're also going to be taking pictures, so maybe it's a reveal or an extra jacket or something else that's a different color because it lightens you up.
Thank you.
And I love the structure that you had. I like the pictures at the beginning to set us up. And then you also bookended at the end. And I like that. And in the middle, you kind of explained your process, even why you're doing this. And gave us a little backstory. And I like that a lot. What else? I'd like to see you smile a little bit more.
Thank you.
Because when you smile, your eyes smile. And that's a good look on you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
You know, at a certain point, 3/4 of the way in, you really led to an experience of vulnerability when you started to talk about that, and that's connected with me more. So that was a good highlight there.
Thank you.
One thing with the story, I think it was too long. Like it seemed to go a little bit over. And losing the point of what you want to do. And then at the end, look, if you want to like have people, like I'm ready to sign up with you right now, like maybe your call to action could be specific. If something like if you've heard what you'd like to hear today, that you'll come and see me and let's capture your soul or something like
Thank
that.
you. Oh, I like that. Thank you. That's good feedback.
Yeah.
Okay, very relaxed. You get more and more relaxed as you do this, I can see. Great use of humor when you said everybody has one of these. That was good. I'm gonna keep that. I like the new first impression. Is that one of your taglines?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great. I knew that could be your tagline, but it is your tagline. And then you said something, I lost it. It said it could be another good tagline. What you think about
That's what shows up.
is what shows up. That's cool. Is that another tagline?
I use it all the time.
Okay.
I don't know that I use it necessarily as a
Well, that's fine.
tagline, but
It's really good.
And if I can add really quick on that, the follow-on line you use, and if it shows up, let's be intentional about it, the combo, that's really powerful. I did write that down.
thank you.
And then the two photos. I mean, the first photo, you see that lady and you're like, wow, she's really pretty and she looks really cool.
I know, I thought
And then you look at the
too.
second one and you're like, holy crap.
I know, it's different.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful. And I agree with Dr. Steve back here. Your story goes, it's a great story.
Yeah.
It's a great story, but it goes from picture to you with the story, and I'm trying to figure that part out. And it's good. I would keep it in there, just make it more like why is that? You know, you said people make fun of you and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Is that what that lady was thinking?
Oh, in her mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was thinking about all her insecurities. She's so worried about what she looks like.
Gotcha. Okay, I got
She's
it.
so worried about what she looks like. She's not talking about how she feels like. And actually, that last slide that I didn't say anything is another story that talks very much, that hits that point as well.
Okay, that's good. And then you said something, what words describe, and I lost that too, but that was good near the end. But that was great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for the feedback. That was excellent.
Nicely done.
Okay.
Nicely done. All right.
Your battery is running very low.